So welcome to the live broadcast. Today I wanted to talk about something that has been heavy on my mind and a big theme in my life recently through the live support groups that I've been attending and leading some workshops in, and the videos that I have been creating. It's always the theme of healing, but how we heal and how fast we heal, or different opportunities to heal at different rates rather, has been coming up a lot. And I have observed that something that I use as a critical part of my healing practice is missing in a lot of other people's healing practices. And that's never to say that what works for one person will work for all, but I think that we share some common traits and some common behaviors as human beings that should be examined. So this is what it is. For the past several weeks, I've been attending a support group at my church. And it is a collective effort to release things that no longer serve us and to adopt new practices, new healing modalities, to try out new things that maybe we haven't tried before, to have conversations that we haven't had before in order to heal ourselves. And yesterday, something really interesting happened, and it wasn't in relationship to what we were talking about at all, but one person in the support group mentioned how diverse the group is. And my experience has been in listening to these stories, even though I've listened to thousands of stories throughout the years with clients, through comments and videos, through conversations in here, that this is really the most diverse group that I've sat in a room with, one, and the most diverse collections of stories. Because I did not curate the group. I did not put out a call based on the work that I do for these people to join. They're just random people from my church community. We are part of a church that has a common message, but the people come from all backgrounds. They look all different ways. They have all different life experiences. They experience life differently now at this point. And it's been really interesting to be in that circle. The difference with my platform is that people come for a common purpose and usually hold a common set of beliefs that makes the conversation a little bit of an echo chamber, meaning that there's not a lot of conflict within the community. Now, specifically for the purposes of my Facebook group, I want to keep it very safe as possible for everyone in it. So I don't allow negative conflict or drama, but there's not a lot of differences in opinion on a lot of key issues. So what I found through the support group, and also I don't want to call it an addiction because it's not that. I would never exaggerate that. But my deep and burning desire and my inability to really stop doing it, listening to memoirs, buying memoirs from all kinds of different people, comedians, historical figures, like biographies about historical figures, memoirs of activists, and listening to stories that are coming from people who are so different than me. What I've learned through these two things is that being in spaces with people who look different than I do, that believe different things than I do, that are coming from different backgrounds than I do, is critical to my healing journey, critical to my understanding of my own humanity. Just this morning, I was listening to a really good book that's an easy listen, and it's short. It's also an easy read. Black Dignity in a World Made for Whiteness. I'm not sure. By Austin Channing Brown. I'll put the link in the video description. So I'm listening to this book, and it's a Black woman telling the story about her experience growing up in a mostly white community, in a mostly white school, and navigating that experience. And I found myself, because I was so unfamiliar with that particular experience, just overwhelmed by the realization of how much I don't understand about different experiences, and how knowing that heals a piece of me that I didn't even know was broken. My cat agrees. So that, in combination with the support group meeting last night, is telling me that I need more of that. And when I look at most people's healing journeys, and I look at the self-help books that they buy, and listen to that term, self-help, the self-help books that they buy, the workshops that they attend, it's either very centered on their own experiences and their own personal preferences and the way they want to take the journey. And they're not really challenging themselves by putting themselves in rooms with people that look different than they do, or come from different places than they do, or experience life differently. For instance, for a long time in this wellness community, I was attending lots of workshops, and everybody at the workshop didn't look like me, but basically looked the same. And that's because they were coming from the same place, following the same messaging, desiring the same things out of life, and they were coming in, and it creates this echo chamber. It creates an environment of stunted learning. And what happens when you're in a space that isn't like that is that you're challenged, and then your perspective is also expanded. And it forces you to look at pieces of the healing journey that you didn't know even existed, or that you had to work on. So in challenging that, it really creates a holistic healing. So today is less of a talk and more of a call to action, and also a question for you to look back on your own healing journey, the books that you read, the workshops that you attend, the places that you go, the classes that you take, all of the programs you buy. Are you making an intentional effort to learn from or be in an environment with people who are different than you and that don't even have the same issues or journeys or experiences as you do? Are you doing that? Is that an intention in your practice? And if it isn't, can you make that happen for yourself? So if you're a white woman, the next book that you buy a book by a Black woman talking about Black experience. If you're a man and you're watching this, read more memoirs written by women. If you come from an affluent background, explore more from people who are coming from spaces that are not affluent, or they might have come from poverty, or are currently living in poverty. Like, just explore that intersection of experience, not just to be a good person and to have a deeper understanding and compassion for other people, but also to have a deeper understanding of those parts of you that are reflected by those people. Because if we are part of a collective and we're living these shared experiences through the narrow perspective of our human existence, our individual human existence, we still have all of the experiences running through us. We still have at least a subconscious awareness of what's happening. And we're affected by it. So we should tap into it. And that's all I have. It's really just a call to action and a question. Are you seeking out diverse experiences in your own healing journey to facilitate your own healing journey? And if you aren't, can you do that? Can you do that in your next step? So maybe not going to the space where everyone's going to look like you, challenging yourself to be uncomfortable, to learn something new, to sit with people who are different, who might look at you as different. Be that person who doesn't necessarily belong. Again, be uncomfortable. And force yourself, force the experience of seeing things that you wouldn't be able to see because you didn't know existed, because we don't know what we don't know. I love you. I'll see you soon.